INTPs in 20 words. Number 1. Conceptual. INTPs are natural philosophers and theoreticians who love to explore abstract and complex ideas. They are fascinated by systems, patterns, and the underlying principles that govern the world around them. They're often associated with scientific, mathematical, and philosophical fields, but they are just as likely to turn their minds to art, music, literature, and anything that affords them a platform to explore the vastness of conceptual possibility. Number 2. Precise. The speech patterns of INTPs are filled with caveats, corrections, and qualifications. Whenever giving an answer or making a point, they'll often add in these little caveats, something that hints at an alternative way of looking at what they've said. Basically, they are preempting any potential logical inconsistencies that the person might point out. It's like they weave the counter-arguments to their points into their initial points. It comes from the desire for accuracy, precision, and also the worry of being seen as too dogmatic and therefore lacking in nuance with what they're saying. Number 3. Independent. INTPs are fiercely independent thinkers. Beyond that, they are also paragons of autonomy and self-direction. They have a strong desire to chart their own course, to pursue their interests and passions on their own terms. Although they do cherish intimate relationships and human connections, they likewise relish the sweetness of solitude and the ability to answer to no one but themselves. Number 4. Analytical. INTPs are natural analysts, adept at breaking down complex problems into their constituent elements. They are skilled at identifying patterns and relationships, and are able to see the world in terms of underlying structures and systems. INTPs often enjoy the process of analysing pretty much for its own sake. Investigating as their curiosity dictates is a self-justifying thing for them. Number 5. Adaptable. I wanted to throw this one in, even though it is not straightforward. INTPs are indeed adaptable, but not action-oriented, so that undermines it. Mentally, though, they are brilliantly flexible. Number 6. Reserved. INTPs are often private and introspective, preferring to keep their thoughts and feelings to themselves, which is unfortunate if they hide these things to an extreme degree. There is an almost comical disparity between the craziness that goes on in their heads versus what actually gets verbalized. Number 7. Nonconformist. INTPs often challenge conventional wisdom, not by direct attacks, but by thinking for themselves, without the distractions of other people's voices, then simply letting the intellectual chips fall as they will. Number 8. Inquisitive. This is curiosity with a reasoned, rational, cold logic flavour to it, which leads me to my next word. Number 9. Scrutinizing. INTPs are pointed in their questions, with minds as sharp as serrated blades, and often equally cutting. Many people, quite understandably, get offended when encountering an INTP in interrogatory mode. This does not come from a bad place, though. They just want to know. They want to know fast and with accuracy. So, they will ask the most penetrating questions to get to that point. Number 10. Fearless. Again, I mean intellectually fearless. INTPs will launch, head first, pun intended, into all manner of weird, dark, and taboo topics without a hesitant step. INTPs are restless and audacious with these explorations. There is no room for the intellectually squeamish in the INTP's world. Number 11. Disembodied. I have mentioned previously that INTPs see their bodies as vehicles to transport their heads around. Of course, some INTPs do indeed have bodies, at least so I've heard, and some even use them to great effect. After all, many physical pursuits can only be mastered with well thought out tactics and strategies. However, the vibe that INTPs have is one of someone preoccupied with the life of the mind, above all, and somewhat ambivalent about their flesh vessels. Number 12. Habitual. INTPs enjoy their creature comforts, their routines. They are autopilot processes with which they run their life. It gives them the ability to bring about repetition in their physical life, facilitating variety in their intellectual life. Number 13. Pedantic. Napoleon once remarked that an empty throne always tempted him. INTPs feel a similar temptation when a contradictory statement is left hanging in the air, ripe for being sliced to shreds. When you're a warrior of reason, it is hard to turn that off and exist in non-pedantic peacetime. Sometimes it is okay to let fallacies go unchallenged. For INTPs, easier said than done. Number 14. Quick-witted. INTPs are funny. In large part, this is because of their observational abilities. After all, there is no shortage of stupidity in the world to make roasting fun out of. But also, there is a logic to humour, a structure, a formulaic nature to it. INTPs seem to tap into this effortlessly. Number 15. Easygoing. This is one of the most underrated aspects of INTPs in my view, because it makes their vibe counter to certain stereotypical aspects of them. Yes, they can be blunt and brutal at times, but they still value those FE things. In fact, having FE as their inferior function means that they often worry about such things. If you add this to the fact that they are relaxed, chilled out, and easygoing most of the time, it's a recipe for someone who isn't going to engage in much conflict or contentiousness. Unless they're on the internet, in which case that's a slightly different story. Number 16. Playful. All people for whom curiosity is a driving force are inherently childlike and playful. It just comes with the territory. Number 17. Eloquent. This has the large caveat of usually in written form. That's not to say that INTPs aren't verbally eloquent, they certainly can be, but they often encounter the issue of not being able to capture their thoughts very well in real time. Writing allows them to structure their points in a way that is linear and cogent. So INTPs are either eloquent in both verbal and written form, but almost always the latter at the very least. Number 18. Polymathic. Contrary to some of the descriptions I've seen that claim INTPs like to focus on one main thing in life, INTPs are wide-ranging in their interests. Whether it's in the halls of academia, down an internet rabbit hole, or in some far-flung corner of the globe, INTPs will be searching for novel knowledge and learning new skills. Number 19. Socratic. This relates to many of the other words mentioned, but it captures the INTP approach quite well. INTPs are people who like to distill knowledge in principles and formulas. They then use these principles and formulas to navigate through life. So, in conversation, when they are probing someone's ideas and logic, they are very methodical and Socratic. Number 20. Zen. INTPs, in my view, exemplify an almost Zen-like detachment in life. It's like they're in the audience of their own life, even while being participants. Always able to take that bird's eye view on things, or step back from a situation like a person pulling their eye away from a microscope. Dare I say that I think I have many INTP subscribers, but one can never have too many. So I say to the INTPs, why not do some free exercise and move your cursor to the subscribe button? And if you're feeling very adventurous and energetic, click the notification bell as well.